Big day for you, Jake. Big day for
Me?
you. Yep.
Why?
The Bruins changed their logo.
Oh, but it's only temporary, I guess.
Yeah, well, take any win that you can get, right?
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm awfully scared for the Bruins right now.
Just in general.
Like I am, but I'm not. Like I'm scared, but I'm not upset. If that makes sense.
Elaborate.
Like so for years, literally since I 20 probably 18, I have been bitching and moaning every trade deadline that they don't go all in because the core was getting old. And then this year, they did. They definitely went all
Yeah,
in.
they pushed their chips into the
They had the
table.
greatest regular season of all time, and then they failed miserably. And that's not, you know, it's like in The Sopranos when they're talking about Davey Scatino. A man made a wager, and he lost. That's
Was
what
that
happened.
the sporting goods store guy?
Yeah, a man made a bet and he lost, and that's a team made a bet and they lost, and now they're paying the piper, and that's fine.
No, they have to steal his SUV. I think that was the plot point, right?
Yeah.
Like
He
sold
sold it to him, but yeah.
Yeah.
Am I sad because this means there's an exodus of players that I have come to like? Yeah, but the alternative was I'd be mad they didn't go all in again at the deadline when they. I mean, the best alternative was they won the cup and then
Yeah, I was gonna
exodus
say
happened.
winning even a series.
But like normally I'm mad at Don Sweeney for kind of sitting on his hands, but I can't be mad at anything he did last year. He had a fucking flawless season. Like every movie, I mean the Mitchell Miller, that's not
I was gonna
flawless.
say, yeah, flawless
But on the ice, he had a flawless season. So
until
it sucks,
it was full of flaws. So,
but
what are you
that's
gonna
not
do?
his fault. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Like he built
he's
a fucking
right.
juggernaut.
You got the
and they
recipes,
shit their
you know.
pants.
Yeah, he's not the one playing. So,
Yeah.
huh.
Speaking of shitting their pants,
Folks, the Boston Red Sox,
folks.
right? Huh? Ah, jeez, fucking Chris.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing that Jake has to kind of leave in like a half hour, and it's a good thing that we already recorded like an hour and 15 minutes with Lucy Burge, who will be on the program this week again. Looking back at our preseason
friend of the program.
Yeah, at this point, definitely a big time friend of the program.
We need some more enemies of the program.
Yeah, I mean they'll come. Many men
we have a
wish death
couple.
upon us.
We have a couple.
Who would you say?
Do we?
I mean, the the bastards are probably enemies of the program, right?
I don't think they're friends.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call them friends of the program. You yelled at them the other day, didn't you, Jake?
Me, yeah.
About Benintendi?
Oh, yeah. He was like, Benintendi has really established himself as a top of the order bat. What?
With what? The OPS plus under 100?
Not under 100, yeah. He's literally below league average as a
I think
hitter.
it's technically just below. It's like, what like 98?
It's 98.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's, I mean, regardless of if it's at league average or not, that's not establishing yourself as a top of the order bat.
Yeah, that's not that foundation isn't too great. But anyways, this is Pod on Lansdowne. That program that we're talking friends and enemies of is Pod on Lansdowne. I am Mike Greenwell, aka Fitz. I'm joined by It's Over Again, aka Jake, and Justice for Bobby Dahlbeck, aka Liam. Glad to have you here for another edition of the show. Thank you for listening. And again, we'll hear from Lucy Burge later in the program. Great talk with her as always. We did the grid with her. We did some grid posting with her. We introduced her to the grid, the Immaculate Grid. That was some great stuff. What was not great stuff, Liam, were our predictions from the start of the season. We're big-time dum-dums, apparently.
There was some good, but mostly bad.
Mainly bad.
Mostly bad. So yeah.
We simply do not know what we were cooking.
No, we weren't cooking much. And if anything, halfway through the season, whatever cosmic gumbo we were cooking is burnt.
It's sort of a cosmic gumbo. They still have to pay us $2 million though. No matter what, that's our rate.
That's
no
right.
No matter how poorly the Red Sox do, or how our predictions are, they still have to give us $2 million. Speaking of those Red Sox, man, it's so.
Here we go again.
Because it was such an encouraging week the week before, man.
It was a great week. We were
awesome.
we were riding so high last week.
Sky high. Just swept the Yankees.
I mean, the
week with a
fucking White
16
Sox, guys. The fucking White Sox.
a pathetic organization.
What the
The
fuck?
week started great too. We were dancing all over the graves of the Minnesota Twins. We were runs by the boatload. Runs by the boatload, Jake.
It's the White Sox? Fitz?
My White Sox, apparently, because I had them
Yeah.
winning the friggin' division. We'll get into that
They
later.
fucking stink.
And they dropped 2 or 3. What's so frustrating, again, it's one thing if you're losing some games by like 8 runs, if you're just getting your ass kicked. Like Sunday, the Red Sox just didn't have a chance. Lou Bob happened. Cutter didn't have it. It is what it is. You're going to lose games like that during the course of a whole season. It's that first loss to the Twins. What was that, Wednesday? Last Wednesday?
Yeah.
The whole Caleb Bort play at first, that whole shit. It's dropping a game like that. It's dropping Saturday's game to the White Sox. Those just drive you crazy. They drive you mental.
After you came back in the 9th inning too on Saturday.
Yep. Casas had a huge home run, able to get back into the game, get back in front, and just for this team. And I apologize if this is kind of scatterbrain rambling thoughts, but this team's fundamentals are just awful. Awful fundamentals. And I have been hesitant, guys, to be like poo-pooing Alex Cora a ton, but where do those fundamentals... Yeah, you've been right. You've been driving that train. Where do those fundamentals or lack thereof come from? Where does that start? It's coaching. The fundamentals have to be better. I don't know if you agree, Liam.
I don't think we have a coaching staff, quite frankly.
Alex Cora was a social experiment.
Yeah, it's a figment of our imagination.
Conducted by Harvard University, an experiment.
Yeah,
Thank you for participating.
But no, it's all the little things with this team. They'll get on a run. But like you said, like the Caleb Bort thing, the defense will come and go.
Mainly go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Primarily go. Some come. Sometimes they're going to come, but mostly go.
But yeah, it's just they're so frustrating to watch.
Liam, do you have like an auditorium like in your apartment right now?
It's the ballpark. They're doing something over there. They're
which
getting ready
ballpark?
for the game.
Which one?
Yankee Stadium, actually.
New one or the old one?
The old one. It's the ghosts outside.
Ooh, yeah.
But no, it's just like you win 6 straight, then you promptly drop 4 of the next 5. Why even bother winning 6 straight at that point? What did we accomplish? And it's like to a division we love to hate. Also, like the AL Central is not good. None of those 5 teams are good at baseball. I'm not saying we are.
Yeah.
We're better than that. We are better.
Should
than
be
them,
better
though.
than the White Sox. We should not. I don't care if it's on the road. We should be taking at least 2 or 3 from the Chicago White Sox. That
really
fucking
you should've
dumpster
swept them.
fire.
That team stinks.
They were so close to taking both of those series with both those walk-off losses. That's why I can't see a run coming from them in the second half, because it's even if they do,
you've seen them have runs. That's the thing.
They shoot themselves in the foot.
It's maddening. It's bad. You've seen them have huge runs. They just had a 6-game win streak. They were good. What was it, like mid-May, late May? They had a nice little surge or whatever that was. I don't have the exact dates in front of me right now, and I'm not going to bother to look, so don't check me. But it's, and again, these you're going to have games like that finale in Minnesota sometimes. You're going to get your ass kicked every now and again. Any team's going to do that. The Royals are going to kick a team like the Astros' ass every once in a while. They're going to run into some
games.
Exactly. Yeah, that's just, how big the sample size is. But when you're in this playoff race, Jake, when you're in this playoff race where it's like 7 teams are going to be vying for 2 or 3 spots in the wild card in the American League. All 5 teams in the American League East, you can at least squint and see something resembling a path to the playoffs for all the teams. If not, they're going to waltz in. Like the Rays are obviously going to waltz in at this point. Baltimore, it would be, they choke it away if they don't get one of the wild card spots at least. And, hey, maybe they even make a run at the division. They're playing some great baseball. But all 5 of those teams in the East are going to be in the hunt at least to get a playoff berth. A couple teams in the West are going to have a chance at a playoff berth. Not in the Central, but you know what I mean? You're going to have about 7 teams or so in the mix for three spots. So when you're dropping these games like Game 3 in Minnesota, when you're dropping games like Saturday on the south side of Chicago, those are the margins, guys. That's the razor thin difference, Jake. If they miss out on, again, I've said this before, I say it again. It's the thirds, like the 54 game theory. You're always going to win 54 games. You're always going to lose 54 games. Those 2 losses there this past week are part of that collection of 54 games that define your season. If you miss the playoffs by 2 games, you can look to those games, right, wrong, or indifferent. How fair that is, I don't know. But you can look to those games and be like, if those go the other way, maybe the Red Sox are dancing in October. And they've had their share of wins where it does go their way. They've had some crazy walk-off endings. They've had some games where they're able to, escape out of a jam and get it done. They've also had more than their fair share at this juncture of the season of games where it's maddening, where a lack of fundamentals or a stupid mistake, or you name it, comes back to bite them in the ass. And ironically, they're right around 500. They're kind of like what we expected this year, All the topsy-turviness, the up and down, the bell curve up and down has led to them, looking at either 41-39 or 40-40 as we enter the exact halfway point of the season as you listen to this on Wednesday. It's enough to drive you crazy, Jake, but I guess, that's kind of what we should have expected from this team. Sorry if that was a lot of rambling, but
yeah, no. It definitely was. But
yes,
you watch this team, we're 80 games in now, and it's so rare that they have a loss where you go, well, they beat us.
Tip your cap, right?
Easy. Yeah, I mean, like Joe Ryan on whatever that was, Thursday night maybe, I think.
Thursday afternoon.
Fucking nails, complete game shutout, 3 hits. What are you going to do,
I feel like he owns us, by the way. Every time I see that
great.
man,
he's a great
he throws
pitcher.
6-7 innings against us.
Yeah, that happens.
Who's the character from Stranger Things that he looks like? Billy, the lifeguard?
Billy is the lifeguard, but I don't really think they look alike.
Oh, they totally look alike. Are you kidding me?
Okay, I mean, they have a mustache.
I'll keep talking. I'm going to send it to the group.
Anyway, so that happens, but then I would say 3 out of every 4 losses this team has are the most soul-crushing, devastating losses that you could have. It's like, a blown save or an extra inning loss or like a one big hit. Or it's just so rarely do they lose a game clean, which I think is what ultimately frustrates me so much more than if they just outright were bad. I'd almost prefer that because it's like, okay, we're, like we said, it is a bridge year regardless of how we end up finishing. I mean, we're not going to win the World Series this year, I could tell you that. But it's just
no faith.
Yeah, it's just frustrating that so many games rip your fucking heart out like they have been. I mean, I can't imagine what our record in one-run games is. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I can't imagine it's a pleasant number.
I'll try to find out. Keep going.
Yeah.
I got it. We're 10-14 in one-run games.
Yeah, that's not very good.
And 10-14. 2 of those games go the other way. Say you're even at 500. You'd be, as we record right now, I'm trying to pull up the standings.
You'd be in 3rd place, no?
You'd be 2 games behind the last wild card spot, as opposed to 3. Now, again, you're still just 3. It's a tight pack, but these are the margins we're talking about here.
I'll tell you what, though, fellas, we really are terribly unhealthy right now.
Yeah, I wrote that in the blog.
Which is what makes looking down these last 80 games a little more grim, for me at least.
I mean,
the rotation is fucking decimated right now.
Yeah.
We have one pitcher. One that started the season in our rotation.
And that was supposed to be like, oh, we actually have a plethora of starters. And I remember, take Corey Kluber out of the rotation, which I agreed with, but I was hesitant to be like, just totally outright and just get rid of them because you never know what's going to happen with you can never have too many pitching options. And the minor league pitching situation is not that great either. Isn't Mata hurt? Isn't he dealing with something?
He's hurt. Yeah, he's hurt.
So the other one, Drohan, I think is
Johan. Yeah, he's all right though. That was like a leg cramp. He's
okay.
Fine.
All right.
But
I apologize if I mispronounced his name. But
Speaking of Drohan, just quick, one little ray of sunshine. 3 players in the futures game. That's
That's
cool.
right. Marcelo,
Yeah, Nick.
Farm
York,
looks good.
Nick
The
York.
farm does look good.
Yeah,
But let's not focus on the good right now, gentlemen. Let's focus on the bad.
sulk in our misery. We had a lot of good funny talk later in the episode with Lucy.
Yeah.
Right now we need the bad vibes out.
Muppets, etc.
God, that was a
Fuck.
fucking. I mean, you'll get to that part when you're listening.
Yeah.
But what a wild. That came out of nowhere, man. That was a good riff.
I mean, 10 and 14 in 1-run games. That's not a winning recipe, fellas.
I said it a couple weeks ago. Like, this is what they are. I'm not expecting, them to suddenly win 45 games in the second half.
Here's the thing, Liam. Like I
Win
mentioned,
45 games? What do you mean? That's barely over 500. They could totally win 40.
Say like 55 then.
Okay. I actually do. I expect them to win 45 games.
Yeah,
in
they
the
should.
second half.
Right?
That
Hopefully.
seems
Let's finish around
terribly
500.
reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah, that 85 wins. That'd be better than what I anticipated going into the year. But here's the thing with that, Liam.
The 96 Mariners had 85 wins. And they had 3 of the greatest hitters of all time on that team.
Three guys with over 1,000 OPS, and they won 85 games.
Yep.
And a good lineup. Like Buhner was involved in that 1,000 OPS, but he still had a good year. You sent that in the group chat earlier.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing with that, Liam. Like I just mentioned, like the goods and the bads. It evens out to them. Being this 500 or so ball club, but it's. I don't know if resent is the right word, but for lack of a better term, I kind of resent the idea like, oh, this is who they are, because even if they're just a bit more fundamentally sound, they can be better than this. We have seen the ceiling of this team.
Yeah.
It's self-inflicted wounds. They can be better than this. A better possibility is possible.
A better world is possible.
If you can dream it, you can do it. They're not dreaming it right now, so they're not doing it. They're not doing it.
I don't know. It's just I want to have that optimism. Like I would love for them to go on a run in the second half. Like they're going to be in the wild card hunt. The wild card hunt.
Wild card cut.
But like I don't see it happening. I don't. I'm sorry.
There goes our ad revenue.
Yeah.
Liam dropped
Yeah,
the C
right.
word.
Yeah. It was nice knowing you, my bookie.
Yeah. Grand opening, grand
That's all
closing.
I got.
Yeah, fuck. I don't know. It's such a frustrating team. They're better than last year, but they're absolutely more frustrating than last year.
Are they better than last year though?
I think they are. They are.
This team was still. No, we're coming up right around where they kind of went south last year, but. Once we got to July 4th,
to be fair to the Red Sox, which I rarely am, they have dealt with like a pretty substantial amount of injuries. And I'm not saying
you don't want to make that an excuse, but it is.
No, but I mean, everybody in the rotation has been on the DL at some point, which that's not a recipe for success.
Right? We talk about defensive blunders. Say what you want about the potential of Trevor Story's elbow issue, but if he's playing short full time, we don't have to deal with the nightmare that is.
We
Kiki
probably
Hernandez
have 6 more wins. He's playing short full time.
Instead of literally the worst defensive shortstop in baseball when he plays.
Yeah, Duvall starts the season, he's Babe Ruth, and then he breaks his wrist. That's like
he's a streaky player as is, but to at least have that option.
Streak might have been cut short. That's what I'm saying. You could have got another week out of that streak.
Right.
Who else? They.
If wishes were fishes, the whole world would be an ocean. But
Arroyo,
has to be considered at least. And I wrote that in the blog. It's we could do what ifs until it blew in the face. But
frankly, the pen has been pretty decimated.
Pen's been good.
By injuries too, and they've been all right. Martin missed time. Jolie's missed almost the whole year.
Richard Blyer gave you nothing.
Yeah, Bly gave you nothing. Schreiber's been out an awfully long time. They have really had some injuries that I think
Winkowski's was off on Saturday.
Really talking about,
Yeah, it's just.
But to be fair, they do still suck at like throwing and catching baseballs, which is pretty important.
It's a fundamental part of the game.
Yeah, it is.
Some might say. If we want to be positive about something for a hot second, though, I do want to bring this up. I think we can officially call it that Brian Bayo is him.
Yeah, that's my ace.
We have
my ace.
developed a starting pitcher, folks.
Yeah.
Officially him. And I wrote this in the blog too. The way he's able to work that changeup off of the sinker and off the fastball and off the slider, everything plays off of the way he's able to pepper that changeup low and away to lefties, low and into righties. It's again, his command was a worry going into the season. You've seen it kind of be reeled in a bit more over the last couple of starts, and he's been magnificent.
What's interesting with his command is, and this isn't sustainable probably, but even if he gets to 3 balls, he is rarely walking guys. He goes full
as
a
of
lot.
late, yeah, you know,
or he gets to 3-1 or something,
and he has good strikeout stuff. So
he doesn't walk him. So sure. I guess where I'm at right now is before the year, I said to you guys, and I wrote some pieces about it. I said, ultimately, if we could just know that we have some guys at the end of the season, then I'd deem it a success. And I pointed to Witt, Bayo, Casas, Wong.
Casas is becoming a guy. Casas has been
that OPS all the way up to 740.
Yep,
He's coming.
yeah. The
Wong.
the uncles
I don't know about
complaining
Wong's
his nail
bat,
paint.
but he's a fucking Gold Glove caliber guy behind the dish. So I mean, that's in today's MLB. Frankly, that's really all you need.
That's all you can ask for.
Yeah,
Just tread water
out of a
offensively,
catcher.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think he's a guy. I think Bayo's our ace. I think Witt's looked really strong lately. I think Cutter may be a guy, at least a back end guy or a bullpen guy. I think Houck's something. He was looking a little better before he got his face caved in. Verdugo has taken that jump we talked about. Duran might be a guy. I don't know. That's up in the air, but it's definitely more. It definitely looks better than it did before the year. Certainly, Masa's a guy.
Yeah, it is.
Masa is a guy.
I will say, like the outfield altogether as a unit.
Yeah.
It's arguably that's been the biggest bright spot.
As I was just saying that, I realized how much worse this team is than the sum of its parts.
Yeah, but it's also on the basis of how good the farm has been. At least there is something resembling. Some people are going to yell at me for this. That's fine. You can see the future being brighter for the team, considering that so many of those guys we just named are locked up for the foreseeable future, based whether it's on team control or contracts already signed.
I don't want to sound like an asshole, but if they do sign or acquire a 1 or a 2 this offseason, that's a really fucking good team going into next year.
I think so.
Like a really
Story's
good lineup.
healthier.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, with health, of course.
Meyer would be up.
Meyer's going to get there.
Meyer's not going to make his full impact on the team until probably 25.
Sure.
He'll come up for September or so. Maybe if he's really, really good through the rest of this year into the
mid-July
start next year. Maybe if he's.
I mean, what was Xander
well.
in 2013? Like mid-August.
It was like the first week of August. I remember.
Yeah.
That's when they
like
do
that.
it. It's late. It's like.
Again, there's a lot. He still has a lot of hoops to jump through, but I'm
he's been good.
expecting
He's starting to hit some ding dongs down in Portland. That power's waking up.
Yep.
He's grown into that body. He's a young man.
Casas will have another offseason to develop. Bayo,
Yeah.
same deal. Whitlock, same deal. It's there is a path for this team to not have 2024 be this stepping stone kind of a year. But that's the best way probably to put it there, Jake. The team is, the sum of its parts, it leaves a bit to be desired. And again,
They are
I think
less
a lot of
than the sum of their parts.
There you go. Thank you. That's a better way to put it eloquently.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, words are hard. But and again, a lot of it just kind of comes to some simple fundamental shit. And there's some young players there. They maybe come to learn that. I guess I don't know. But it's also some of the veterans making some boneheaded plays and mistakes. The fucking base running mistakes. The amount of outs that this team runs into. You saw it Wednesday night.
Do they have
ran into
coaches?
fucking outs.
Do they have
They
coaches?
don't. They absolutely
What do these
not.
men? We are paying these men.
It's money laundering.
These are
Has to
my
be.
ticket. This is my ticket money. Going to these fucking guys, and I'm watching guys boot grounders. I'm watching guys run into outs. I'm watching.
Why did my question is, why did I don't know. This is not a major portion of our coaching staff from last year, but like, isn't Tim Hires and God, who was the bench coach last year? Like, they're all in Texas now. Texas looks great. That offense is insane.
Nice.
Not to say ours isn't good, but it's like, I mean, there are definitely, we keep coming back to it, fundamental things that they just they don't play clean on a night to night basis. There's no consistency. So,
well, you're about to learn a lot about the team in this next week because Miami's a solid club, and then we're going to Toronto, that fucking house of horrors that is the Rogers Center. Team always, as of late, they've shit the bed up in Toronto. So,
and then they
I
come
had
back.
Texas.
I was thinking I have
for the
like
4th of
zero
July.
positive Red Sox memories that take place in Rogers.
Mookie hitting
I
for the
have-
cycle, but they lost that game.
No, they did lose that game.
Will
I have Will
Middlebrooks
Mitt-
hit 3 home runs.
Three
Yeah.
home runs. That's
Yeah.
that's
That's
the
it.
first one
That's
that came
all
to
I got.
mind.
Yeah.
Ortiz hit like the Tim Hortons nut sign one time up in like the 3rd deck.
Shout out
I
Nut.
don't- Yeah, but
Oh yeah, Manny in like 01 hit like a 540
yeah, up in like
foot
the
home run.
4th deck.
How old were you at that point? 2? Jake?
How old were you? 5? What are you?
Older than you. I don't remember it. That's what I'm saying. I don't have the memory of that.
Oh well, I don't have the memory. I was just trying to rattle off some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, come to think of it, I hate the Rogers Center.
It
Me too.
sucks.
Me too.
Not a fun place. That fucking what was it? Was that in 21 Springer hitting that fucking nuke in the 8th inning?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Blew that
Yep.
game.
Off Barnes.
I think it was Barnes. Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of like ugly walk-offs that we've had there.
Yeah. No, that place sucks. It's a fucking nightmare.
Oh, Daniel Bard, his literally like the day we were all like, oh, it's over. That was in Toronto in 2012.
Was it?
Yeah,
I
where
would
he
say
like
of-
walked
of-
5 guys and like hit 3 guys.
Of the AL
And even the
East
Blue Jays
teams,
were like, you got to take him out.
I have a lot of positive memories in Yankee Stadium, a lot of positive memories in Camden, and then very few positive memories, almost none at Rogers, and then it's probably like a split in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, they've
I
had
feel
enough.
like there's some good
winning.
stuff in Tampa.
There is 13, 21.
21. Yeah.
Ortiz's 500th.
God, remember when that random backup catcher hit a walk-off off Koji, Game 3 of the 2013?
Shit, what was his name?
Yeah, what the fuck?
I
was
trust
his name?
Liam to remember who this is.
He basically
Jose
closed,
Lobaton.
Yes, he like closed his eyes.
Is it
He like
electric
closed
call
his
by
eyes
Brian
for that
Anderson?
splitter.
That's
Yeah.
like a fucking level 500 remembering guy
Yeah.
moment right there.
That
from
was
Liam.
crazy
Hats off.
because Koji, I feel like Koji hadn't given up a run in like 3 months.
Yeah,
And it was
oh,
like,
shit.
whoa! I thought, yeah.
It's like, oh fuck, are we in
Then we won-
trouble?
Yeah, then we won Game 4, so it's fine.
It's all good,
Yeah,
Game 4
so
was
that's
tight,
where we're at,
though.
I guess.
But,
yeah, not great.
yeah.
It's funny. If you listen to last week's episode, I was like, "Hey, we're flying well." I wonder how bad we're gonna be feeling
we
for
said
the
like
next
4 and 2,
episode.
didn't we? And we went what?
3 and 3. Should have been
Sounds about
4
right.
and 2. Arguably should have been 5 and 1. But we're 3 and 3. So next time we record, it's either going to be like in the actual pits, like it's going to be full on over, or we're going to be back, baby. Again, we're going to find out a lot about this
Every
team.
week, man. Every
Every
week with
week,
this
that's
fucking
how it
team.
is.
It starts
Yeah.
tonight against Sandy going tonight, right?
Yeah, I know.
Who
I know
has
he's
been
gonna
bad?
shove. I
Who has
know
been
he's gonna
bad?
shove against us.
Still Sandy,
That's just
you
the
know
way
what I
the
mean?
season's going.
I mean, he's no Alec Manoah, Jake.
That's my guy.
And that's a good segue. Do we want to move into talking about your guy, Alec Manoah?
Yeah, I mean, that's it, right?
Let's do that. So
all
we're
we
gonna
got.
we're gonna take a break. It's gonna be a prolonged break, folks. It'll be commercial free for the rest of the
Is this
episode
not
because
just the ending? Because we signed off, Fitz.
we recorded that first. This goes first
No,
in
no,
the
no.
episode.
Like,
you
we
ding-dong.
signed off for the episode.
Yes. So this thing that we're recording right now will go first. It's 2 different
I
audio
know,
files.
but I'm saying this isn't a break.
Fitz
This
is,
is like
Fitz is taking us to break, and
No,
then we're coming
Fitz-
back, and it's Lucy, right?
Yes, thank you. Liam.
oh,
Thank you.
oh. but the 3 of us right now,
Donkey.
We're
Yes,
done.
we are done
We're
recording
done in real time.
in real time, but the people are not done listening.
All right.
You
Yeah.
turkey.
Loves his commercial breaks.
Yeah, he loves his ad breaks. Loves his ad break. One big ad break, commercial free for the rest of the way. Then we're going to throw it over to our friend Lucy Burge for predictions and grid time. Or not predictions, looking back at predictions and changing predictions.
Revisions.
Prediction revisions. There you go. Ad time.